and welcome to this Divine Partnership Coaching video. I will be your coach, Madam Thanatis, and this is just going to be a short video that I'm going to call The Spirit in Which You Do Things Says Everything About You. It's an important lesson to learn, especially as, well, for me, a lot of my journey, and especially with my Divine Masculine, have been about like the contrasts that I've seen him be faced with from karmic partners and that I've been faced with karmic partners. Cheating, being dramatic, being immature, uh, fears of intimacy, fears of commitment, being honorable, standing in your integrity, things of those nature. Like I want to feel like an honorable, kind, authentic, brave person that typically makes the right decisions even when nobody is looking. And I also don't, I want to be low drama and have good moral character and not be controlling. And I also like being that person who, yeah, I would fight for you, though I'm not going to go looking to pick a fight. And I don't want to feel like the kind of person that is like insecure, and so I need to go and like interfere and cause drama and stuff. I want to feel like somebody who is so awesome as she is and so capable that how could you not help but want to find your way back to me. That and you know, there's such a difference in that. Like when you think about the spirit of that, like I want my ex back versus like I want my ex to want to come back, you know, or I want my divine partner to want to come to me if you haven't met them at all, or I want my divine partner to want to come back to me, to see such a beautiful contrast between me and anybody else that they've been with or could be with, and see that life would be so much more fun with me, more productive with me, more abundant with me, versus like I want them to miss me, or I can't believe that they don't miss me, or I don't feel like a whole person if I don't have a relationship, or I'm not with them, or why are they not with me, or what do I have to do to change this? Like the spirit of that is so different. It's the same thing with, you know, I just did a thing about not doing no contact. And the biggest reason not to do that is because you are intentionally wanting to hurt your partner. Now, it can be easy to justify that, well, I just want them to learn the lesson. I want them to miss me. I want them to appreciate me. I want them to want me back. But you're still doing it in a spirit of being willing to intentionally hurt them and distress them in an attempt to get them to be more compliant and do what you want. Now, the alternative is that you can say, you know what, I want to be able to give them the space that they need to grow and see the contrast around them and recognize that I'm not contributing to the drama or their problems. And I want to work on what I need to work on and heal. And I want to be just the right amount of busy that I'm not constantly bothering them, and I can enjoy them reaching out to me and enjoy the moments that I reach out to them, and just enjoy that space. Sort of like the, you know, music. It wouldn't be music if it was just constant noise. It's the space between the notes, the space between the instruments that makes it music, the space between the vocals that makes it music. So the same thing, life is often those spaces in between things, you know? And that's such a different spirit to go into something. And same thing with, you know, maybe if you keep feeling called to say, like, I want to make my partner jealous, or I want to have them do a fear of, what was it, FOMO, fear of missing out. Well, there's a very different energy between I want to make them jealous so that they will fight for me. So I'm going to put up pictures of me out with other people so that they'll hopefully reach out to me and be like, hey, I don't like you being with anybody else, or hey, I really want to be with you. I don't like seeing you with anyone else, versus, you know what? I'm not going to hide the moments that I'm enjoying things. I'm not going to hide the moments that I'm not enjoying things. And if they do feel like they're missing out, well, then maybe they want to consider coming back this way, or learning whatever karmic lessons and following whatever growth points they needed to in order to meet you on that vibration. But it's a very different thing between I'm doing this to intentionally distress them and or provoke a reaction versus I'm not going to not do something just because it might create that. I'm going to do something because it feels in alignment with who I am and who I want to be. If I want to share pictures of me going out and having fun with my friends or working on my garden or exercising or doing things like that, and that is something that I just like doing, and it so happens to create a fear of missing out, then here's the irony of that. They are missing out on you just being you, versus the spirit of the other one is that you are trying to intentionally get them to fear missing out on you doing things that you wouldn't even really be doing otherwise. Like, the spirit of it is very different, you know? It's the same thing like when we discipline our offspring. There's a difference between I'm angry at you doing something I didn't like, so I'm punishing you, versus I can see what you're doing is going to create problems for you as an adult or now, or that you need to learn a certain skill. So I'm going to help you learn some emotional discipline, and we're going to create either some close to natural consequences, or we're going to talk about it, or we're going to change some bit of our routine so that you can gain that skill. Very different energies. And there's also, I mean, in terms of like, you know, if you do decide that you want to go and explore dating or other things while you're waiting for your divine partner to get out of a third party situation, there's a big difference between, well, you're all hung up with so and so, so I'm going to go do blah blah blah, and like the spirit of that, versus like, you know what? I just want to let you know that I'm considering exploring some things with other people. I'm still yours. You know it. But clearly there's some things that we both still have to learn, and so I just want you to know ahead of time, before I even get into something, what's going on, so that you're not shocked or surprised by it. You're still letting them know the same thing, but there's a big difference between I'd like to give you a heads up because I know that you care and I know that it could trigger you, versus I'm going to do this and I want it to trigger you. You know, like, see what I mean? Like, the spirit in which you do something means everything. And you can turn it on yourself too. Like, if you decide you want to exercise, I mean, by all means, any reason that gets you out there, go for it. I'm not going to knock anything. But there's a difference in the spirit of I want to exercise so that I don't feel ugly, versus I want to exercise because I feel better when I exercise, and I have noticed that I've got excess weight that it's just not helping me in things, and so why not, you know? And as a bonus, because I'm enjoying exercise, I can fit into that bikini, or I can deal with those stretch marks, or I can alleviate chronic pain, things like that. Same thing with quitting smoking, which is definitely on my list, which is, you know, there's a difference between I have to quit smoking, it's horrible and bad for me, or my partner doesn't like it, or I shouldn't be doing it, or the laws are restricting it, or it's bad for your health, or it costs a lot of money, which are all valid reasons, but they create this feeling of like, you must do it. And as human beings, typically when we're put in a situation where we feel like we must do something, is when we're least likely to do it and rebel against it. And there's a big difference between that, like I have to quit smoking, or I'm trying to quit smoking, versus I am allowing myself to become a non-smoker, or I am allowing myself to release addictions of all kinds. I'm allowing myself to experience an absence of addictions because I would like to enjoy living a smoke-free life or addiction-free life, or I would like to embrace and feel the fun of sobriety. There's a big difference in the spirit between those energies, you know? It's the same thing in relationships, you know? Are you, when you think about doing something nice for your partner, is it because you are hoping that they're going to do something nice in return for you? Or are you doing it because you like seeing the smile on their face when you do it? because it's fun when you plan a romantic activity that goes well, and because you get a great story if it doesn't go well. What's the spirit of that? Are you questioning them about their connections with their friends or exes or other same gender persons because you're feeling insecure and threatened, and like there might be a problem in the relationship, or that they don't love you enough, you're not doing enough, things like that? Or are you noticing that there are some toxic enmeshments or karmic situations going on that are hurting your partner? Because there's a big difference between asking the two, you know? Think about the spirit in which you do something. If you're only talking to someone to get something out of them, that's very different than you're talking with someone because you enjoy the conversation with them. Same thing with, let's say that if you want a relationship, why do you want a relationship? Do you feel like it's going to complete you? Or it's going to fill some void in you? Or do you want it because you already feel fulfilled and you just like to share that with somebody? See the difference in the energy there? It's the same thing with, like, say you want to get your ex back, or you want to get your divine partner to come back to you. Do you, like, why? Why are you doing that? Why aren't you satisfied with the friendship? Do you require that you have to have physical relations with them? Do you require that you have to be in an exclusive romantic relationship with them in order to enjoy their company as a human being? Because if you do, that doesn't suggest that you really even want a relationship with them. The spirit of that is that you feel incomplete without a relationship, and if you had one with them already, it feels easier to want to go back to that than to start a new relationship and face whatever challenges that you had in the old one. Versus you really enjoy your partner's jokes and conversations, and you have a lot of shared activities, and you like to listen to them, you feel like they listen to you, and you like making memories with them, and being in that energy with them really turns you on, and you like to express more affection for them and receive more affection from them in a physically intimate way, or to get to be romantic with them, to do the romantic gestures and things. Like, there's a way different energy between the two. Like, I want my ex back, but I don't even really like them as a friend, so I couldn't be satisfied with a friendship. It has to be an exclusive physical and romantic relationship, otherwise no go. Versus, I would like to be romantic and exclusive with my partner, but I really enjoy their friendship, and really, if that's what this becomes from this point out, I would be totally happy with that and cherish that and be grateful for that, and be fine if it didn't go further, because I like them as a person that much. Because really, that's what physical connection should be. It should be the bonus. It's like the it's like the bonus cherry with the cherry on top, right? That's where it should be. It shouldn't be something that you require, especially if you're trying to get back together with somebody that you were in a relationship with that fell apart. Anyways, I'm sure that you can understand. I'm sure that you could put two and two together and think of many other examples of when that you see a contrast of, in the spirit of this versus in the spirit of that. If you have any questions or would like to share your experiences or feedback, please feel free to do so below in the comments, and please don't forget to like and subscribe.